Hi everyone, it's Dr. Lalitaa here. Today's video is introducing you to a professional in relationships and in the relationship with yourself and also the relationship with other people. Her name is Balwinder Hunjan and she is a psychotherapist and a counselor. She's been doing this for several years now and she is amazing on what she does. She helps people move from A to B, and she gets them through that process of just developing a better relationship with self, which ultimately changes that relationship with everyone else around you. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Balwinder. So Balwinder, when you're ready, come up. I've got so many questions I need to ask. Come.
A healthy relationship, I guess, is based on mutual respect, trust, good communication. I guess those are the three big things, isn't it? Because if you trust each other, you respect each other in terms of your opinions, each other's opinions. You're able to communicate and discuss how you feel, how you think, what you want, what you don't want. You know, they're pretty good foundations or pillars to a good relationship. I guess bottom line is good relationships are where relationships make you happy, isn't it? It's all about being happy, enjoying who you're with. So the relationship, is it a partner relationship or is it also, could it be a friendship? Could it be a mother-daughter relationship? Could it be a father-son relationship? There are lots of different relationships, isn't it? But I guess the bottom line is it's to do with happiness, mutual happiness. So you're happy, they're happy. It's a good, healthy relationship.
You're smiling. Is that you thinking?
Happiness, I guess, what is classed for one person happiness is different for another, isn't it? So for one, happiness is when someone cares about me or someone looks out for me. For another, it might be when I feel financially secure, when I'm around this person, he helps me feel financially secure, or happiness to someone else might be that, mom is at my concert today. That's happiness for a child, to see that. So it all depends on what one classes as happiness, isn't it? So, for example, for someone who says, happiness is when I feel financially secure with my partner, the question would be, really, is that happiness because you're looking for happiness from someone else instead of looking within yourself? So, again, it's different for different people depending on what is their driving force, I guess. Is it to do with financial insecurity, for example, for that person, that financial security is their definition of happiness. So, happiness for one person isn't the same for another, I guess. To understand what makes you happy is understanding yourself first, isn't it? So it's understanding me, understanding I, or you could say yourself better. So it's understanding who we are, what we love, what we don't love, what we need, what we want, what we think we deserve, what we think we are entitled to. They're all the things that I guess. So it's working with yourself and understanding what makes you happy first before you go looking for happiness, because actually happiness is within ourselves. Learning to understand yourself first, isn't it? Communicating could be, I guess you're with yourself, so you communicate through your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, but it's more of learning to understand yourself first, learning to understand what your needs are. Because, for example, like I said, my need might be that I've never felt secure financially, for example, even as a child, perhaps, mom and dad were not together. Mom struggled to get food for us on the table. She was working 3 jobs, for example. So money was very tight. So for this person, perhaps financial security is very important because they've grown up with very little of it. So, growing up as an adult, for someone who's financially feeling that, they're not secure a lot of the time, it's understanding what this is about. It's about their child. It's about the child feeling that they're not safe because they haven't got food on the table, or they don't know when mom's going to be home, or they might have to go hungry till they go to school the next day and have a meal at school. So when I am looking for a relationship, if I'm looking for financial security, is that the child's need that needs to be met? Or is it because I really need that as an adult? Because I might be a professional, I might be doing really well in life, but I still feel quite inadequate because I feel like I'm always not financially secure. So I think it's understanding within yourself first, your needs and what is driving those needs sometimes. I think sometimes it's good to kind of map yourself, isn't it? Kind of put yourself down on paper and talk about what, your needs might be. So one might say, my needs are, I love adventure, for example. I want to be doing an adventure or having an adventure each year. So you look at that and you kind of think, where does that adventure come from? Where does that need for adventure come from? Is it being driven by something in the past, or is it something that I want to do today? So when you say, how do we understand our needs? Sometimes it is about spending time with yourself, just being, just kind of watching and creating some level of awareness around you with your current friendships and relationships, looking at what you're doing, how you're doing it, why you do certain things. So it's almost just being and taking in what goes on around you. Yeah, I guess, that's a real kind of fear, isn't it? Most of us have got it, isn't it? Do I look right? Do I look great? Have I got the right dress on? Or is my hair okay? Or do I speak right? What are others thinking of me? So, I guess we all have got those fears. But the difference is, for one, it really impacts on them as a person. For others, they kind of go, you know what? I think I look fine. I look okay, and it's fine. But for others, it can be quite hard to get past the way they look and the way they feel when they think others are judging them. So that comes from a sense of self, isn't it? So when your sense of self isn't very strong or not as grounded, then I guess, you feel that a lot of times you need external validation. So you need approval from others, is what I guess I mean. That, the nod or someone to say you look great or you're doing fantastic work, because you haven't got almost a locus within yourself to feel like, I can say that to me and believe that's true. Well, I guess, how people can do that for themselves for a start is learning to love themselves. Learning to love that, I am good, I am good enough, I love me for who I am today, and whatever that might be, that is the starting point. Because when we learn to love ourselves, then we can only then from there build others in our life. There is no, I guess there is no others if there is no me. And sometimes you need me to have relationships and people around you. But I think when people work the other way around, but where they want others to love them first before they love themselves, is when we are doing things the wrong way around, I guess. So it starts with I love myself, I love me. And we move from there, we start from there. That's your foundation. But it's really hard, isn't it? I guess, coming from I guess, for myself, I could use, I guess using myself is coming from an Asian culture. A lot of times we're taught not to think about yourself. You always think about everyone else. We think about others. We think about what others need. We provide them with what they need, and we are at the bottom of the packing order. So if we don't do that, then we are looked at disapprovingly, or you might have, someone saying, "Oh, you're not thinking of your little brother there, are you? You're just thinking about yourself." And it starts from there because, as children, that's where it all starts from. If we are not teaching our children, I guess, young people to learn to love themselves, then how do we go forward? Because a lot of self-esteem, self-worth issues has got to do with, I don't like myself, I don't think I'm worthy, I don't think I'm good enough. So if we can start with children as young as 2, 3, 1, teaching them whatever they do, it's fantastic, and they're loved, even if it means, a little girl who's got a doll that she doesn't want to share with someone else because it's such a special doll, that's okay, because she's got all the other dolls that she's willing to share, but this one is hers. And for a parent to actually say, you know what, I recognize this is a special doll, and she doesn't want to share this, but she's got all the others to share, shows this little girl that she can, she can keep things that are special to her. She's entitled to it. Yeah. I guess we as therapists must use it quite a lot of times, through working with clients. One particular one that I remember is about I was seeing this female who was in her 20s who came to see me because she was trying really hard to have a family accept her for who she is. She was doing really well for herself, but she wanted to build bridges back with the family. She had kind of broken contact with family because she thought that they didn't appreciate what she did. She tried to help the family a lot, but it wasn't looked at as being appreciative. So she wanted to build those bridges. She came back, she met her mother, but her mother was not as available for her. So straight away, she thought she wasn't good enough. She felt the same feelings that she did before, which is, I'm not worthy of her love. I'm not worthy of my dad's love or my sister's or my brother's love. She found it very hard because she tried harder and harder to be worthy of their love. And each time she did, she was disappointed. And each time it kind of reinforced her feelings around her just being unworthy of love. When we looked back at some of the work that we were doing around her growing up years, she talked about this little girl that tried very hard with her sister, wanted to, help her sister because her mother wasn't as available. So she was the mother to this little sister. So we talked about how she felt as that little girl. She goes, mother wasn't around for me. She wasn't there. She didn't help me. I had to almost be self-sufficient. She was bullied at school, and she goes, her mom didn't get involved in it. So again, there were lots of things that were reinforced. So we did a bit of inner child work, which was, when, we kind of went back to the place when she was about 5 or 6, and she sees herself on a swing and she's pushing herself and she thinks about how she feels. And she talked about, she said to her the little girl, which was her when she was about 5 or 6, that it's okay, I'm here to protect you now. And you don't have to worry about anything. You are loved. You are loved by me. That was the time that I guess there was a shift in the work that we were doing, because she realized now that she didn't have to keep trying to please her mother and to gain acceptance from her family, because she knew that she was good. She was good enough, and she loved herself for who she was or is. Yeah. And obviously, that was just a snippet of it, isn't it? There's a lot more therapy that involves where she writes letters to herself. She remembers how she feels. She remembers what she's achieved for herself. And she doesn't need her parents or her family to be her cheerleaders, because she's got herself to cheer herself on, that, to look back and think how much she's achieved for herself. Yeah. It's rewarding, isn't it? Rewarding to see that someone else is happier from when they came in and to when they're leaving. They have fulfilling relationships. For that case, it wasn't just a fulfilling relationship, which she was seeking in the wrong place, which was with her parents and her family. She's got a fulfilling relationship with others right now who love her, who accept her for who she is, and she doesn't need to try so hard. And you see that change in sessions too. The client changes. And I think sometimes people make it look so simple. And what I guess I really want to say is it's not as simple as that, but that doesn't mean it cannot change for you. But I think there's a process to it. So sometimes when we read books and we kind of look at it and go, oh, well, I'm reading all these books, but it's still not helping me. It's because sometimes a lot of the work needs to be done in the past. So the inner child work that we mentioned earlier, isn't there? Because, a lot of it has to be undone from when you were younger. And then only can it help you in your adult life. But if we kind of behave in very childlike ways still because of the needs that weren't met then, that is what's impacting on us today. So we can work on today, but very slowly the past creeps back in, and that's what needs working on sometimes.
Okay, I just want to say a massive thank you to Balwinder for having her here on the show and for her taking time out and being here and sharing all her wisdom that she has with everyone. I want you to take from this what you need to, because when we read things, when we watch things, we take from it what we need. So I want you to take from this what you need right now, because there's so much inspiration that I've got from that, from just listening to Belle and asking her these questions that I've asked her about the relationships that we have around us, but also ultimately that relationship we have with ourselves. And like she said, it's all about understanding ourselves and taking time out to be able to understand ourselves. And also, it's not just a quick fix. It's not just a quick fix where, yep, that's it, I know who I am. It's an ongoing process of understanding your child's self and understanding what you've been through as a child to understand where you are right now in the world and knowing that you can change as a person as well. And also what happiness is. Happiness is an inside job. It's something that's going on within us, but also we can seek it from things around us. But ultimately it starts from within us. So I just want to take again this opportunity to say thank you so much to Balwinder for having her here. She's been amazing, and sending you guys lots of love, lots of blessings, and have an amazing day, and take care and subscribe so you know about the next videos that are going to come, and you guys can be empowered and learn to love yourselves, because it's not something that we're taught. So here you are, subscribe. Were you laughing? That's a general question.
Are you just grilling me today?
Well, it's interesting that you feel grilled. You've been doing really well.
You can cut this now.
Hang on a minute. Why do you think that I'm grilling you?
No. You're just asking me about all of my work.
Yeah, I'm really interested.
You know.
You do such good work. Like, I want to know.
Thank you, Lalitaa. You're lovely. No. Okay, what was it?